He knew where I was coming from. I completely cracked. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to get out of there. I told him I'm leaving my phone, I'm leaving my computer, and I'm getting out of here. And I just looked at the cheapest flight to the farthest place, and it was Thailand for $500 on a one-way flight. And I remember on the way to the airport, I called my mom, and I was like, hey, Mom, I'm going to Thailand on a one-way. She's like, what? I was like, I'm leaving my phone and computer here, but I'm coming back when I'm ready. She's like, remember her saying, she's like, maybe you should go to therapy. It might be cheaper. But I went to Thailand on a one-way flight.
I don't think therapy would be cheaper.
Potentially not.
Thailand is really cheap.
But when I was there, I just realized like I was in such a bad mental health space, and I was there and I looked at these kids in the streets, and they were laughing and having fun and playing with rags. They had nothing. Yeah. And I was like, who's winning in life? Like, oh, I'm doing millions of dollars in sales on Forbes 30 to 30. I'm miserable every day. These kids have a can of Coke they're kicking around like a soccer ball, and they have the biggest smiles on their face. They're so happy. And I was like, it's got to be something with me. And I got to figure out how to enjoy life and enjoy the ride and be happy.
Enjoy the ride and be happy. See, that's the point.
It's all finding a balance, because I feel like it's like, and if there's a big part of if you're not in that rat race and you're not like, what's next, then you go nowhere in life, you know? So it's a balance, because a part of you has to be that way to be successful.
Of course.
But at the same time, a part of you has to balance and say, look, I have this money, now this week I have to go enjoy this, you know?
And that's the hardest part. It's
Yes.
like, how do you be balanced without being complacent? How do you still have that passion and that urge to go to the next level, but also still be enjoying what you're doing?
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part of everything, whether you're talking about success, marriage. I mean, everything is like the balance of enjoying and the work of it all.
Yep.
Enjoying the work of it all, even when you're failing, right?
Of course. And everything's a learning experience. There's no more failures.
No more failures.
Lessons learned.
And it's nice to fail. And the reason why it is nice to fail, because I feel like that's the only time you learn. I don't feel like you learn anything when you're successful.
Yeah.
Because you're doing something right. So what is there to learn?
Yep.
It's only when you do something wrong.
Of course. And then once you have that perspective of, I'm not failing, I'm either doing something right and winning or learning. You can't lose.
Yeah.
Either you're going to learn or you're going to win.
Yeah. I hope I fail. I want to learn more.
It's awesome.
Wasn't it Oprah that said fail your way to the top?
That's the only way to do it. And
Yeah.
but then you're playing with house money, because people take failures too seriously and take themselves too seriously. It's like, go out there, and I have a friend who has a company, and he said, this is his failure company. So he raised a bunch of money. He was doing millions of dollars in sales, and he said, with this company, I want to mess up in every single way possible. I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? And I was like, he said, I want to make every mistake possible, and I want the company to fail. And I was like, dude, you're crazy. And he's like, no, once I have this attitude, I can't lose. Because either I get what I want and I fail and I learn what not to do, or I win. It's a win-win. And I love that idea.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
And you did win, because you made it into Forbes 30 Under 30 in the rental and e-commerce category.
Yep.
How did that happen? Did they approach you, or did you submit your stuff to them?
I think we got submitted by some other people. And then we got lucky enough to be chosen. One day I got an email saying, congratulations, you're a finalist. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I remember, it's so funny, because it was something that I wanted so badly for so long, until I got it. And I was like, so this piece of paper says I'm something. What does it matter? Like, I remember the day of, I get all these people congratulating me, and like I was on a high. And then the next day, no one congratulated me. No one cared. Nothing changed. And I was like, why did I work so hard for this accolade? And that made me realize, like, when you work so hard for the light at the end of the tunnel, you get there and you realize it's not what you wanted it to be. Or you want something, you want to go back into a tunnel and work so hard towards something else. Yeah. So it's not about working towards the light at the end of the tunnel. It's about making sure how your tunnel's lit every day, and how do you enjoy it every single day.
That's how it works, huh? I know, because I mean, I want to be an A-list actor. Betsy wants to be an A-list comedian and talk show host and whatever. And we're always dreaming, envisioning that. But you're wondering, will I be happier than I am now a week after I get it?
And then once you're that
you get used to it.
Once you're there, you're that A-list actor, you're going to say, I miss those days when I was hustling before I made it. Like, that was the fun time. And I think it's just like, the grass is always greener. You always
and you're a testament at that, because your company's now on autopilot at this point.
Yep.
And do you miss the journey of not being on autopilot?
Yeah, so it's funny, me and Parker were talking about this a couple days ago, where it's like, the business is running really well. It takes very little time. It's making a lot of money. We're super happy. We barely have to, we don't have to work that many hours. Our lives are awesome. Like, we're able to have balance. We're able to have a lot of money. We both have girlfriends. We're happy with life. And we're like,
Yes.
we're talking to each other like, we're kind of bored. Let's go mess it up. And we're even joking about it, like, let's go start another business. We're like,
Yeah.
why? Our business is working. It's like, we're just kind of like, things are perfect. What do we do now? And it's like, always this mindset. It's like, wow, we miss when we used to hustle and wake up at 7 a.m. and work so hard. We want to be working towards something again. I want that passion again. And it's so hard to realize, like, once you have, like, what you're chasing might not be what you want. And once you get there, you might not want it. So it's just figuring out how to enjoy every single day.
Every moment.
Exactly.
Like,
And people get obsessed with falling in love with the struggle.
Of course.
So when you get what you want, like the Forbes, you're like, great, now where do I go? Like I was so obsessed with trying to get there, and you get there, and that's the downer of it, is like, you gotta find
You're like,
the
what do I
struggle.
do now?
I know.
What do I work towards now? Where's my passion now?
I love struggling.
It's the fun
Yeah.
of the struggle.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or-
Yeah.
but it's
Jerry
working towards
Seinfeld
something.
says that.
It-
He's-
it's having the idea of working towards, you want to be working towards something, and you want to feel like you're have a purpose and you're productive. And I know friends too who have sold their companies for lots of money, and they're more sad and depressed now than they were when they were working in their company, because they're like, what do I do now? What do I wake up for? Like,
Yeah.
what's the point?
What do you think your mindset was to get where you're at when it came to starting a business? Because there's a million entrepreneurs
Yeah.
out there. What do you think set you apart from everyone else?
Yeah, I think there's people that want to go into entrepreneurship because it's sexy, because they watch The Social Network, or because they want to make
which I
billions.
compared you to in the beginning.
Yeah, but it's true, because like, and once that movie came out, entrepreneurship went from being like this like kind of weird outcast thing to being like the sexy cool thing. And especially with Instagram, when you see these entrepreneurs on like private jets that they rent with Jet Suite or whatever, like renting a Lambo for a day, be like, look at my Lambo, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, it's sexy to be an entrepreneur right now, which to me, it pisses me off, because it gets all these people into entrepreneurship. Like, entrepreneurship is waking up and getting kicked in the nuts every day. And if you don't, like, that's what it really is. It's not driving
is.
Lambos. It's not, like, entrepreneurship is so tough.
It's literally getting kicked, because my friend is an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
it's getting kicked right.
And you wake
waist
up every day
below.
and it says,
Yeah.
kick me. Kick me again.
Kick
Kick me
me
again.
again, yes.
Over and over again. And
Yeah.
unless you are just like so delusional in thinking what you have is so special,
Yeah.
or if you're so committed to what you do, that's the only way you get through that. And I think there's a lot of people are going into entrepreneurship now for the wrong reasons. Like, entrepreneurs didn't choose to be entrepreneurs. I didn't be an entrepreneur because I want to make a lot of money or because it's fun. I did it because I couldn't sit still in class. And the school system told me I was a failure and that I wasn't smart. And then I have ADD. I can't sit still. I can't sit in a 9-to-5 job. I can't sit in an office. I didn't become an entrepreneur because I wanted to. I didn't have another option.
That makes sense. And you know what? Being an entrepreneur involves getting kicked waist below, and us having a rap feels like that as well.
Yeah.
Like literally, the interview we have to wrap right now.
Okay.
Oh.
It went by fast,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Really, really inspiring stuff you were telling us.